Software programming is a very fulfilling and lucrative career path for anyone with an aptitude and passion for it. Another unique feature about programming is that you can teach yourself all of the skills required without going to college or paying a fortune to do so. It is a rare field in the case that being self-taught is often celebrated rather than being frowned upon. Today I'm going to break down how to learn how to program without the need of a guided learning path like a college degree, graduate certificate, or coding bootcamp. First, you're going to decide what your motivation is. The most important thing you're going to want to do is determine your why for wanting to learn how to program on your own. This reason is going to drive a lot of your decisions, including on what to learn, how to learn, and how to apply it. People want to learn how to code for various reasons. Some people want to learn how to make their current job easier by learning how to automate a spreadsheet or a report query. Some just want to learn as a hobby to build fun things on the side, but a majority of self-taught programmers are looking to switch careers into software development. These are generalized scenarios, but I think that it covers a wide range of the people watching this video. Next, you want to know what your timeline is. Now that you know what your reason to code is, you're going to want to determine if you have any timing constraints on your learning. Do you have a project due at work that's shortening your time window, or do you have a goal to switch careers to software developer by the end of the year? Someone with little to no time constraints can play around more with various learning paths with very loosely defined goals, while the more tightly constrained learner looking to become a junior web developer by the beginning of 2022 will have much more buttoned down and focused learning path. Next, you're going to pick a programming language. You're going to pick one programming language to start with and stick with it. Once you get proficient with one language, it becomes easier and easier to pick up new languages. Every developer reaches a tipping point from thinking about the mechanics of the specific language they're learning to thinking about the specific problem and how to design and think through the problem in high-level code blocks. Once you start thinking like a developer, you can start graduating to multiple languages. Circle back to your why. This is what's going to drive the language you should select. Do you want to be a web developer, for example? Then pick up some JavaScript. Do you want to learn embedded systems? Then pick up one of C or C++. Not sure, but want a general purpose language? Try Python, Java, or C#. Next, you're going to understand your learning style and your discipline, and then you're going to decide where to learn. As you prepare to go down your self-taught programmer journey, you need to be very honest with yourself on how you learn best, and if you have the discipline and willpower to stay on track alone. The discipline you have will make or break your outcome. Do you feel confident in setting your own path, or do you need some structure to push you along? If you're very disciplined and can stay the course alone, there are plenty of self-driven learning paths like following an on-demand lecture series like teachyourselfcs.com or building your own learning list from sites like YouTube, Pluralsight, Udemy, Coursera, and Udacity. This is a great option for some because you can pick and choose to focus on topics that interest you the most and hand select from the best instructors available. The crazy thing these days is you can be learning programming basics one week and CS50 offered for free by Harvard and the next learning algorithms from MIT the next. You can essentially get an Ivy League equivalent computer science degree for free. Now, most self-taught programmers won't try to replicate a complete undergraduate degree, but that option is out there. If you're completely new to free or MOOC style learning, I would suggest starting with Coursera. It will give you a great curated list of available courses on your chosen topic and plenty of reviews available from other students like you. If you're like me and jump from one shiny object to the next and can't complete a full course without deadlines or grades to push you forward, then it's probably best to look for a more structured learning path like Udemy bootcamps, Free Code Camp, or Coursera specialization tracks. I have done all three of these options, and they're all great. Not all are free, but they're very reasonably priced, and you can get great structure, a learning community, and learn exact skills needed to become a junior developer, for example. Next, you're going to follow through and build things. After you've started down your chosen learning path, you're going to want to start applying what you learn to things that interest you. Concepts will stick with you much better if you start working on your own projects on the things that you enjoy doing. Say, for example, you really enjoy investing in the stock market or cryptocurrencies, and that you are learning Python development. A great project would be to learn how to scrape investment data from websites or to plug in a market data API to start building some simple trading strategies. Another example is if you are trying to learn gaming development. Start building some simple gaming logic to play around with. You don't need to build a full production-ready tool, just something to grow from. Not only will you be learning a ton, but you'll be adding things to your portfolio and giving you some real experiences to pull from when you go into a job interview. Showing that you're passionate about a topic and actually have dove into problems and started solving them with software will go a very long way in the interview process. Next, you're going to learn supporting tools. If your goal is to be a professional software developer, then learning a programming language is only part of the puzzle. I think it would be a good idea to learn the basics of some primary tools a software developer will leverage in their career. While this isn't important for the hobbyist or the person learning VBA to speed up their spreadsheets, it's still a worthwhile skill to be aware of. Some tools that you want to learn, at least at a beginner's understanding level, is Git. Git is the most popular version control system. Any professional developer will have to learn how to version control their software and push and pull their code from a shared source. You don't need to become an expert, but a couple of days spent on YouTube tutorials and learning about GitHub will get you started. Next we have SQL. Almost all developers will need to query data from a persistent storage, and most foundational store of data is a relational database like Oracle, MySQL, or SQL Server. All of them query with SQL. Learn the basics. There are a ton of websites that will interactively walk you through samples step by step. Lastly, we have command line. If you have a Windows machine, learn command prompt. If you have a Linux or Mac, learn Unix shell. Know the basics like moving around file directories, making directories in files, copying and moving files. Depending on the type of job you apply to, knowing the foundations of command line can give you a big leg up. Next, you want to present your wins online. Since you are self-taught, you won't be plugged into a network or a career support system like a traditional college student will be. So you need to network and cultivate opportunities on your own. There are plenty of places to become active these days or to find other developers working on types of projects you enjoy. Here are some places you should consider frequenting on your path. First, we have LinkedIn. Make sure you have a professional looking profile and share the skills you've learned and any certificates you've achieved along your path. Next, you have GitHub. If you are particularly proud of a programming project of yours and think that it's something a potential employer would like to see, push it up to your own GitHub repo. Recruiters and hiring managers may also look through your GitHub to get a feel for your skills before or during interviews. Next, we have Twitter or Reddit. On the platforms like these, you can make connections with other developers doing things that you are doing. Networking like this is beneficial for you to see what other people are doing in the field, or even open you up to opportunities you otherwise wouldn't have been exposed to. There isn't a one-size-fits-all path to learning programming or software development in general. Software development is a field that demands constant learning and evolution of skill, so there is real no end point. But if you start with the basics taught in your preferred learning style that'll help you meet your goals, you are well on your way to becoming a successful self-taught programmer. Thanks for sticking around. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video and would like similar content in the future. See you in the next one.